Awesome.
Let's do it. Thank you, sir. All right.
Anand Ramanujan, that's very close. So there's been a lot of interesting conversations, the last couple of days about first-party data, contextual targeting, and other such techniques to help publishers improve their revenue from ad platforms. At Publir, we are focused on using data that we gather on a client website to build targetable audience segments that we can use to, one, provide better experiences to end users, and two, to help publishers diversify their revenue streams. A bit about Publir. We are a SaaS platform that's built across 5 modules. We have an ad optimization module, a subscriptions module, crowdfunding, an e-commerce tool that we are beta testing called QuickShop, and an ad block recovery module. We launched the platform in April 2021. We did about 1 billion page views last year, the last full year we were operational, and we currently work with about 75 clients. Before I get into the data part of it, I just want to give you a quick walkthrough of our platform so you can see what we do and how everything kind of plugs together. We have an ad optimization tool, like I mentioned, that connects programmatically with Google Ad Manager. All we need is your GAM network code and API access to your platform, and we can programmatically connect to it, and we can build out all the different ad sizes on our platform itself and send that out to GAM, so you don't need to log into GAM to create all these ad units. And our platform can create a bunch of different units. We can do sticky ads, we can do out-of-page ad units, we can do the normal in-page ads that are dynamically inserted, so your programmers don't need to go in and put in body tags to make this functional. And then we are fully integrated with the pre-bid through our proprietary version of pre-bid, and we can pretty much deploy any pre-bid partner out there that you want to work with. Our ad block recovery is a tool that you can implement on your website, and basically the idea here is, I'm sure everybody in this room understands it, but a lot of the long-tail publishers we work with don't quite understand that about 25 to 30% of their users might not even see any ads or any revenue drivers for them. So this is something that we can deploy on their site and allow them to recover ad block revenue. Our subscription model is pretty interesting. We integrate with Stripe, Adyen, and a bunch of other payment gateways. We allow you to specify what pricing you want to use on your site. You can do yearly or monthly subscriptions. If you have like evergreen content or reference content, you could also do one-time payments to access that content. And we also allow you to have a free option where if people give you an authenticated email address, you can allow them to read content on your site. We have pretty sophisticated business rules that can be associated with our platform. So you could set something up where the subscription notice shows up to your end users based on certain criteria. You can have them show up every page view or every third page view, how you prefer. And we also have a metered paywall built into it, so you can allow people to read 3, 4, 5 articles on the page per day and then lock access after that if you choose to do that. And we have a bunch of other customizations in place that allows you to really customize what your end users see. And then with integration, we can also do a lot of single sign-on integrations with WordPress, any commenting platform you choose, or even your own proprietary registration tool, so that when people use our subscription tool, they're not having to create another account on your platform. Our crowdfunding tool is very interesting. We allow our publishers to be very creative with how they get donations and crowdfunding from the end users. In this case, we have an auto repair advice site, and the text they have in there allows users to contribute to the site if the end users feel like they got some value from reading the content on the site. We're also able to integrate that and with other assets like pictures and artwork that might be unique to your site, so that the donations don't look like a boring piece of content on the site. They can actually be very eye-catching and appealing to your end users. I mentioned we also have this e-commerce tool called QuickShop that we are beta testing. We allow you to essentially create a bunch of different products that can be integrated anywhere you want on the site. These products can also be, all we need is to allow you to upload a picture on the site, tell us the title of the product name, description, and what you want to charge for it. And then we create a bunch of different creatives that can then be deployed through your ad server and have these products be displayed on the site without you having to create a separate page for it. The one cool thing about both our Quick Shop product and our crowdfunding is all the transactions take place on your own website. So essentially, people click the Buy It Now button, you get a pop-up model, and then you can basically enter your address and your payment information right there, so people don't need to leave that page they were on in order to be able to use the tool. So I've talked about all these modules, and the interesting part is, because all of these modules are connected together, we are able to really segment user data based on the activity that we see on your website. So, we can target users based on the frequency of visit. We can target them based on their location. We can track and see how many of them donated using our crowdfunding widget, and we can target people who donated a certain amount a certain number of times. We can track to see if somebody clicked to donate but didn't fulfill that transaction. We can also allow you to target those folks. We can also allow you to track people who purchase items through the Quick Shop module we have and target them. We can tell when an ad block user who came to the site previously using an ad block extension whitelisted your site. So you can see and you can track that this particular user has an ad block extension on the site, and you might want to show a different experience to that particular user. So we've got a lot of these segments that you can create on the site. Some of them are predefined. Some of them you can customize and create your own segments based on what's happening on your site. So in this case, in this example, you'll see like a high probability subscriber segment. And that can be based on visits that the user makes to certain pages on the site, or any engagement this user might have with the subscription module that pops up. So that, when we integrate all the data and create all these segments, here's what we're able to do, right? When a user comes to your site, our ad optimization module knows certain things about this user, where they're based, what device they're using. Our ad block recovery module can tell if this person was using an ad block tool before. We can tell if this person's engaged with any of the subscription notices or crowdfunding on the site. We can see what kind of product they're clicking for on our e-commerce module. And based on that, we can display an experience to the user that's very targeted to that user. So if we know somebody was an ad block user, we probably don't want to give them a very dense ad experience, because they're just going to turn on their ad blocker again. So we can customize the experience based on what we know about the user, based on their interaction with the platform. And so all of this results in this graph. I know it looks a little complicated, but really all this results in is, when clients start working with us, we see that they typically are doing about 85 to 95% of their revenue from advertising. And about a year after working with us, we see that about 50% of the revenue comes from ad optimization or ads, about 35% from subscriptions, 8% from the traffic that we're able to recover from ad block, and then about 5% from crowdfunding. There is quite a bit of variance in the data. Again, how well subscriptions perform on your site depends on your audience, your content, and the brand loyalty that your audience has with your content. So for instance, with subscriptions, we see anywhere from a 10 to like a 90% uplift in revenue based on the site. And that's what these maximum values show you. So that's pretty much it on my end. Thank you for your time. I think I'm about done. And I've got my colleagues, Omar and Sarah and Gino here. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up after the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Anand.